Okay, we're recording. Hey, everybody. It's Lenora from It's a New Dawn. How is everybody doing? I am I am sitting here today with the very handsome. I'm going to say Steve Gott too. I'm, I'm laughing because didn't you have Steve Gott to be? Come on
Yes,
your.
someone else took it and I was able to change it back, or my email was set up that way and I took the B off.
All right, because my husband said, you've been calling him the wrong name the whole time. You've been saying Steve Got to Be. And I'm like, oh my God. I went back to your thing and it was Steve Got to. And I'm like, oh shoot, Anyway, everybody. I recorded my first podcast. I don't know how many I'm going to be doing. If it's weekly, if it's a couple times a week, if it's every 2 weeks, it doesn't matter because it's all good. But the second interview I'm doing, or not interview, just sitting down with, his name is Steve. What is your last name, Steve?
It's Gott, G-O-T-T, Steve Gott.
G-O-T-T. And of course, I met him over what? TikTok. Everybody, like I said from the last podcast, everybody who I have, have asked or is going to be from TikTok, which is fine with me because that's the platform. Like I've been, I'm not like this big TikToker. You have like what, 48,000 followers or something?
51, but who's counting?
51, your age.
Almost, yeah, that's right, 51. I guess I'll have to have 52,000 followers by September in order to make it match up.
You will. Oh my God, yeah. So I'm like the teeny little thing in TikTok, but I just love it, and I love all the connection I'm making. And you are one of the infancy people, just like yesterday, my podcast I recorded with Wave. She was one of the first people too that I connected with. But you're fun. You're funny. You bring laughter and happiness to people, which, when you talk about overcoming adversities, which is something, the subject of what I want to deal with as far as my podcast goes. Right. I think we've all have overcome some kind of adversity in our lives, but then I had seen on one of your TikToks that you have had an autoimmune disease, you have one kidney, et cetera, et cetera. So
lucky. I'm so lucky.
Yes. Well, but look, what does it make us into our lives today? Like, oh my God, I'm thinking about all the stuff that I've been through. And if I had not been through it, there is no way I would be the person that I am today. There's not. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I fully embrace all the elements that I have, because thank God they could be 10 times worse. And if this is all that's going to be wrong with me, I will absolutely take that and sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, right.
No more. I'll stick it right here. I'll take the psoriatic arthritis and the one kidney, and maybe even one more autoimmune disease. But that's it. We're done. And if he's willing to sign off on that, I'm okay with that.
I know. I agree. But I would love for you, one of the things I'm not going to change from my old format is I do ask people, okay, what is your story? Where did you come from? And how did it make you into who you are today? So take it away.
Sure. So when I was working on Wall Street, I started at about 16, 17 actually. I was riding the train. I was 27 years old. And I started to feel something wrong with my shoulder started to bother me. My fingers started to bother me. I had psoriasis, which was misdiagnosed over and over again as eczema, as everything except psoriasis. And after finally going through enough pain from my joints, I went to a rheumatologist. And the third rheumatologist I went to said, took a look at my fingers, because something happens to your fingers when you have psoriasis, also your fingernails. So not only does it affect the joints of the hands first, bilaterally, so both fingers on both hands, both feet, but it also affects the nails. And he goes, you have psoriasis. He goes, and with your symptoms, because there's no test that you can take that says Yes, you have now tested positive for psoriatic arthritis. There's no test for it. So he looked at it and said, hey, based on all of your symptoms, you have psoriatic arthritis. It turns out psoriasis is a genetic disease. It's passed down. We don't know who in my family had it, but someone had to have it in my family. So I got psoriasis, and there's a few lucky people that get psoriasis that develop psoriatic arthritis, which I want to distinguish. A lot of people say when I tell them I have psoriatic arthritis, they say, oh, I have arthritis. I have arthritis in my hand. This is completely different. Arthritis, when you get it in one individual place, is you're getting old, the joint's worn out, you used it too much, you had an injury there, any number of reasons, but it's not an immune deficiency disease. Psoriatic arthritis is where your immune system is going after your body and attacking cells that it shouldn't attack. And the same thing with psoriasis. Psoriasis is where the skin is growing 24 times the normal rate that skin should grow, which is how you get those big scaly patches. So you have to deal with both set of things. So I was finally diagnosed with psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis. Great. At that time, the only thing that they used was an old drug called methotrexate, which has some gold in it, but was something that didn't work for me. And by the time I was, I want to say 32, 33, I couldn't move. When I mean I couldn't move, I was walking with a cane. My fingers and toes had swelled up to the point where I was wearing shoes that were 2 sizes bigger because I could not get my feet into them. It would wake me up in the middle of the night with my hands throbbing. I would literally stick my hands in buckets of ice. And I didn't care how cold it was because the whole idea was let my hands get so numb that I don't feel anything anymore. And if I had to do that with my foot, so that I hung my foot off the side of the bed and I did the same thing. And that's the way you dealt with it. You took aspirin or Advil or Motrin, some sort of a inflammatory, something that decreases the inflammation. And you used, the doctors never said use ice. I said I did it because that's what worked for me. It was just totally numbing the entire area, which did not work. It did not work very well. Fortunately, I forget the name of the company, but I think it was Amgen first came out with the drug Enbrel, which is an injectable drug. It's been around on the market, I think, for over 20 years now. And that was the first time I had a real medication that worked. And what it did was it cleared up about 75 to 80% of my psoriasis and took out 100% of the arthritis. I was living in a body that was essentially the body of an 80-year-old in my 30s because I was walking with a cane. It got into my back. It was in my hips. It was in, once your feet aren't working properly, everything goes anyway because your gait changes. The way you walk changes. Once the way you walk changes, it hits the knee, it hits the hip, it starts to get to the back. So the pain starts to go everywhere, even if the problem is your toes. If you're not walking properly, it's going everywhere. So I was unable to do anything of any use. Everything was painful to me. And all of a sudden now I have this injectable drug, which has its downsides. It can give you cancer and kill you. But the entire suite of drugs, all these drugs, they end, I call them UMABs because every commercial for them, the drug or the generic name for the drug or the professional name that they use ends in UMAB. And that's always stood out for me because I know that always comes with the warning of the fact that you can get cancer and die from it. With that being said, there's no life at 30 years old if you can't move. If you're in pain all the time, then you're going to take the chance. So years and years of testing have went by, and none of the doctors I've ever gone to have ever had any issues with any patients taking it. So I had been on that for a number of years. But the biggest change happened when the drug started to work. Because now, instead of that being 30 or 32 years old, 33 years old with an 80-year-old body, now all of a sudden I had everything back. I was able to walk again. I was able to do anything. And I said to myself, okay, well, now that I see what it's like to be a little bit older, what am I going to do in my life now that's going to change the outcome of the next 50 years? And one of the big that I picked up was starting to work out. And working out has, as you know, has a multitude of advantages, ranging from increased endorphins, building muscle mass, I mean, everything that's good. There's nothing bad about working out. Specifically, if you have arthritis, what you want to do is you want to build up the muscles around all of the joints. An easy example is walking up the step. If you don't have, the muscles aren't built up enough, you're going to always be using that joint every single time. Well, you don't want to do that anyway. You certainly don't want to do that if you have arthritis in the knee. So by building up those muscles all around, I was putting less pressure on the joints and just using my muscles. And that works for everyone, whether you have arthritis, you don't have arthritis. The building of the muscles, as you know, helps you with any joint movement. It's always going to take the strain and the stress off your joints in everyday life. So I started to work out 2, 3, 4 days a week. And all of a sudden I started to, not only did I start to feel better, I started to look better.
Well, Steve, hold on now. So you didn't, when I did a TikTok about this, really truly listening to the person and not thinking about your next question. But I'm sitting here going, I want to raise my hand like, wait, I want to ask you something. So you didn't start working out until your 30s?
Yes.
Oh, okay, Steve. All right.
I was a smoker for 15 or 20 years. I smoked 2 packs a day. I gave that up. I gave that up when the arthritis medicine started to work because I wanted to be healthy.
Good for you. Good for you.
That was a long time ago, and I've been checked by doctors ever since. I have no remnants, there's no identifying markers on me at all that can say that I smoke. What'll happen over the next 10 years, we don't know, but there's nothing that they look at that is any indication that I've ever had a cigarette in my life.
Yeah, it takes 7 years. 7 years. Longer if you smoke longer, but it takes about 7 years for it to all.
So, however long that time frame was, there's no part of that, and there's no that in my body.
Wow. Okay. So you started in your 30s, but if people don't, like, I see you on TikTok, and it's like pretty amazing. I don't want to blow this smoke up your ego there, but pretty good. So
well, I got into the best shape of my life starting at 49. Because even though I was working out and I was getting bigger and I had muscles, I got abs at 49. Like, I figured out the secret myself, because it's different for everyone else. I didn't have
but in your diet is like majority of your abs and being able to see them. I know you had said in one TikTok that you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah,
you're one of the.
I was touching on fried mozzarella sticks. And
yeah.
I have a high rating. So I don't know what the heart test shows that I'm fine. There's no clogs anywhere, and that's just genetic. I mean, people get angry when they hear that, but the truth of the matter is that's genetics. I can't help that. I'm able to eat whatever I want to eat, no matter good, bad, or indifferent, and I won't gain weight. Having said that, I'm not a cake eater. I'm not a cookie eater. I prefer to eat. I'll always take a piece of fruit before I'll grab a piece of cake. So that's just preference, but really most of that is genetics. So for all the people that are struggling out there with their weight, I feel bad for you, but I have to struggle to gain weight. I've spent 20 years.
And that's a struggle though, Steve. That is a struggle. People, who have to gain weight, that's just as bad for them. So
I get it. Gain weight. I get 2,600 calories a day to just maintain weight. 2,600 to 2,700 calories minimum to maintain my weight. And I'm all of 5'10", weighing 160 pounds.
I eat like 1,800. I eat at least 1,800 calories a day.
So
because
for me,
I work out a lot. And I'm like, so, and I'm only 5 feet tall. So 2,600 calories doesn't seem like a lot to me for a man. So
you gotta be eating, and I also have to take in the proper amount of protein. So trying taking 160 grams of protein. So the food is geared towards that. But in terms of how it affects me and my arthritis, since I was able to take the medication, and now I've switched, by the way, just because of insurance companies, I've switched from Enbrel to Humira, which is very, very similar. Again, it ends in that UMAB. So same risk, same everything. But that was really the life changer for me, was that light going on saying, wow, I just came out of a body that's 80 years old, and now I have a chance to do something. When am I going to do it? If I don't do it now, then when am I going to start? That was what was in my head. If I don't do it now, then when am I going to start to get healthy and take on a healthier lifestyle? So I gave up the cigarettes. I started working out, and I focused on the areas where I had the most amount of pain. Exactly the opposite what most people would probably do. I had back pain, I worked out my back. If my knees were hurting, then I made sure I spent extra time doing my quads and doing my hamstrings. And with arthritis, things still hurt when you do it, but you have to move in order to get it better. The that's the catch-22 with a lot of people with arthritis is you get out of bed, and I posted a video on TikTok, like me getting out of bed, you're hunched over.
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, even with the medication, so you're lying, if you're lying still for 7-8 hours and you have a disease, you're not going to be able to jump out of bed and start doing cartwheels, which I also posted a video as doing a one-handed
I
cartwheel.
know you did, yeah. But you need to just think of it as, in layman terms, just think of that, just getting the fluid moving in your body. You need to move. The
Well,
synovial fluid.
Car. I look at like old days when you had to turn the ignition and you had to give the car 5 minutes to warm up. Not like today's car where you press a button and you just go. So yes, I would have to warm up the engine. And once the engine is warmed up, because I've had a lot of people that have messaged me saying, I have arthritis, but it's so hard to move. I'm like, well, what are you doing? Well, I can't really do anything because I can't move. Well, you have to do something. You got to start to walk. You got to get up. You got to move around. You got to deal with that level of uncomfortability the first 5, 10, 15 minutes until the oil starts to flow through your body and you're like the Tin Man, you can start to move again.
Right.
So when you get to that point, you're able to move, then you got to get your ass into the gym because it's not just to move. Once you're moving, you got to do something with that. You got to build the muscle up around all the areas that you need to have protection from. So the more I get my back out, the less I'm going to have back pain. I used to have much more pain when I was 30 than I do at 52. As a matter of fact, a lot of things I had when I was younger, I don't have today. It used to bother me to walk up and downstairs. Now when I walk up and downstairs, it's a workout. That's part of my workout. I'm just doing a lunge, just going up, and you feel the muscles working as opposed to the joints working. So the arthritis really.
Do you like, because this podcast is going to be a very casual thing for me, I want to like have a back and forth kind of thing. For me, I have so much gratefulness for my body. I'm 55, so I put my body through the mill, specifically bulimia, for 6 years. I mean, I almost died from it. And do you feel that way? Are you like I wake up, I'm running, or if I'm like, I literally can almost bring myself to tears just being so grateful for what my body can do today. Do you feel that gratefulness? Do you?
And not in the same way. I wouldn't say that I'm brought to tears by it. I'm more shocked by it than anything else. Because I get that. I do things that I never thought I would be able to do. Flying push-ups. I do. It's not just the working out. I love doing. I know you teach yoga. I've never taken a yoga class. I've YouTubed how to do yoga positions. So I'll do a bunch of different yoga positions, specifically ones that I know are taxing on the muscles. I'll go into a headstand from the crow position, different things like that. So I'll get myself into all these things that are working different muscles just to keep my mind occupied, to keep my focus on something different. I got into doing calisthenics because, again, just lifting weights in and of itself was one avenue, but I wanted to bring more into it. And so I started to do more calisthenic things as part of my overall routine. And every time I added something, there was always a huge benefit to everything else that I did. So like a domino effect, this was a positive domino effect. If I started to do yoga, I started to do calisthenics, all of a sudden my abs started to get ripped and shredded across. I started to my shoulders, what I wasn't getting in the gym, or it was just growth, all of a sudden my shoulders started to get striations through it. So every time I incorporated something new, it was something that helped my overall performance and everything else that I did. So I'm always looking for, my mind is always open. I think it's so important to, no matter what age you are, to always have your mind open to new ideas and to new thoughts.
I have a girlfriend who is 58, and we were at dinner one time, and she is a personal trainer, a big real estate developer now, and a real estate agent. But we take for granted to being able to move. And I talk about all the other aspects of health and well-being. So there's mobility and flexibility, all that stuff. So exactly what you're saying. You have to add in all that to have that total health and wellness picture. But just to be able to turn your head in a car, some people can't do that. as they get older. They can't play with their grandchildren. They can't spin. It's amazing.
Those people, it's the full body turn. It's when you take your head, instead of turning your head, you do this.
Exactly. They think it's normal as you get older. As you get, oh, I'm older. I'm not, I'm sorry.
Now
Having a health issue is one of the littlest parts of being able to lose weight or being able to work out or being able to move your body. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be tough or anything. I'm a very kind person, but having a health issue is just a small little fraction of people that truly have a problem that cannot lose weight because of a health issue or can't lift a weight or just do body weight exercises.
Absolutely.
So you can do it. You can just move your body in some way. I always recommend walking. Like, it's a weight bearing exercise. You will build bone density walking. Get out there in nature, do something. So to me, the body is amazing. And I get what you're saying. Like you said, you're amazed at what your body can do.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was with my kids and they said, hey, do you want to do this race with us? And I don't run. And I haven't done a ton of cardio, but my workouts are, when I'm in the gym, my workouts are pretty quick. So I jump from one exercise to the other. So my heart rate gets up there, but I'm not running on the treadmill at,
The
10 miles.
The treadmill.
The treadmill, yeah. I'm not hitting that right. It's not my thing. But my kids said, come, let's do this race. I said, okay. It's called the Tough Mudder. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
So I'm 48 years old and I'm with my kids who are at the time maybe 20 and 22, 23 years old. And for some reason, I was led to believe, and I'm not blaming them because I can't remember how exactly it happened, although I'm sure it's their fault. But I was led to believe that this was a 3-mile obstacle course. And in my head, I was going to walk a little bit and do an obstacle and walk a little bit and do an obstacle. And we got to 3 miles. And at no point did my kids ever say anything, but 3 miles, they said, you got this. Only 7.5 more miles and you're done. You know where? Go, and this isn't, you're not walking on the road, you're going up and down through the forest. Up the hill, down the hill, climbing up. 7.5 more what till I'm done with what? It's a 10.5 mile race. Sometimes it's 11.
God.
This one's 10.5 miles. I look at my kids, I go, you must be kidding me. You think this has got 7.5 more miles with 16 more obstacle courses? No. Now you're at a cross, because what are you going to do? I'm in the forest. I really don't want to lie down and call for help. My kids are going to go on with it. They're not going to stop me, and I don't want to get airlifted. And it's August. It's 98 degrees outside. I know the heat stroke is coming. What am I going to do? And then I said to myself, you know what? If I want to do this, then I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, and at some point, I'm going to be done. And if I want to sit on the floor in the forest, then I'm going to watch everyone walk by, and every third person, including people that are 70 years old, are going to look at me and go, do you need any help?
Did you finish?
I finished it, and then I went back 2 more years, and I did it 3 more times, and I finished it 3 times. And each time I finished it faster than the time before, to the point where I was running the course. I would come in and started to sign up at 8 o'clock so I can be in the competitive branch with the competitive people doing it. So, it's amazing once you know that your mind is the thing that a lot of time gets in your way. Once you cut that out and say, no, my mind is what's going to propel me. My mind is not going to stop me. Once you have that mindset, it didn't matter at that point whether it was 10 miles or 12 miles or 15 miles, it was going to get done. And I just made that decision at that point that it's going to get done. Of course, next time, bring some extra things along. But I was tired. I was beaten up. I needed a day or 2 days after the wrestling recover from it. But I got it done, and I liked it, and I went back, and I was prepared the next 2 times, and each time I did better than the time before. So your body can do amazing things when you allow it to.
It's for sure. I have some valve problems in my heart from bacteria from my spinal meningitis when I was 2, along with my hearing. I can't hear out of one ear, but
What do
so
you?
that
You can't hear anything?
find a minute. What did you say? Tell me again.
You couldn't hear me?
Yeah, I have a pod in.
I'm playing with you.
But
I know you.
I know you are. My niece asked me if I could do a part of a marathon, the running part, half a marathon. And I am not a runner, although I do go out every morning and I run, but I run at my own speed. And if my body's telling me, you don't run today, Lenora, just whatever, do some walking or whatever, I listen to my body. But sure, because that way, I'm always taking on challenges. I gotta be better. I can do it. So I trained for it for like 8 months.
Wow.
And I went out. This is over 13 miles, right? And went out in the heat and whatever. And it was a week before the run. And my husband and I went out, and he went with me, and he's not a runner. He's not an exerciser. You wouldn't know it though. Like, he's a manual labor person. So that is the best way to build muscle. Picking things up and putting things down. He's physical. He's very physical. So he just went with me, and it was like nothing for him. For me, I've got to watch because my valves are narrow, so the blood doesn't flow as well as a normal person. So the week before the race, I did a trial. I think it was 11 miles, and it was hot as hell, like 100 degrees, 95 degrees. But I had checkpoints where I was drinking electrolytes. I made my own electrolyte drink, had it set. Well, I was in the hospital for 3 days because it was Rumbo. I can't even pronounce it. When you overdo. Yes. So I just.
Do I win something for knowing that? I don't even know if I got that right.
That you should know. Like, if you overdo it, yes. I'm a nurse and I can't even pronounce the word, but it was bad. It was really freaking bad, painful, worse than having all 5 of my kids. I was rolling around in the mud, dirt, my husband, and in my heart, like, I felt like I was going to die and I said to my husband, tell the kids I love them.
No.
It was so, Steve, it was so bad. It was so freaking painful and horrible. And I'm in the hospital for 3 days, and they're trying to drain.
Go without me. Go ahead without me. Leave me.
No, listen to what I did though. So they're trying to just excrete all the protein overload, blah, 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 out of me. And that was the only way they can do it. So for 3 days. And then, of course, I asked the doctor, I said, could I still run the marathon? And the marathon's like 7 days away. And she looks at me and she's like, no, you, and I still ran it. So listen to what I did. My niece forbid me. She's like, Aunt Lenora, you're not doing it. She's half my age, She's like, Aunt Lenora, you're not going to do it. And I'm like you. I'm like, no way. I committed to this. I'm doing it. I don't care if I have to walk it. I don't care if I don't care. Well, my husband knows me, and I'm crying. I'm sobbing because I trained for this for 8-9 months, right? And he's like, all right, hon. He set up there's a tow path here that runs along the Delaware River. It's about 70 something miles long. I love it. That's where I train. He set up 13.1 miles, put a finish thing at the end. My girlfriend, I didn't know she was coming because she knows how I am, came to run with me for like 6 of the miles.
Wow.
And when you know it, I ran it the same day as the marathon. I said, I am doing this. I don't care. I ran it. It took me a long time. It took me
You just froze on me.
Oh, we're back. We just went off for a second. Okay. Yeah, so it took me a little over 4 hours to do.
But you did
Did it. I did it. I'm just saying, we talk about the body and the mind and everything, maybe it wasn't the right thing, but I have always said, if I die while I'm working out, no, I'm happy. It's okay. It's okay, because
Yeah.
that's been my whole life.
You're competitive. You trained for it. I know the way you think, and I would have done the exact same thing.
I know you would. That's why I'm telling you the story.
And I would have tried, and if I had run it once before, I would have been trying to break my time on the second time around. So.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was so funny because my husband got me when I finished, right? And I'm cutting my hand through the finish tape that he put, and you could see it. I'm not going to curse because I don't know, but I went, and you. He has me on tape saying, like, mother, like, just finish this damn thing. And I'm never going to run a marathon. I don't want to run it. But I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to prove that
feeling when you come across and you turn, because it's not about the cursing. It's you're just so damn excited that you did it. You're like, God damn it! I knew I could do that. I knew I could do that.
Yes, and I did it, and I did it, and I was proud. And I'm just saying, just get over what the mind is telling you. Just do it. You can do it.
Absolutely. That's what
you can do it. All right. Did we even touch upon your one kidney? Did we even go there yet?
No. So very quickly, when I was younger, about 9-10 years old, I had 104 or 105 degree fever. And I was taken to the hospital, and after doing some tests, they realized that I had reflux. The ureter, which, since you're a nurse, you know, which connects the kidney to the bladder, was in at a bad angle. Reflux causing the urine to go back up, not into the bladder, back up into the kidney, where it would sit there. And I had it since I was born. So, but we didn't know. And the end result was it destroyed my kidney. So they did what's called a ureter reattachment. They put it in at a different angle, hoping that some of the kidney would still survive and it would work. But all I really have is just a misshapen something that scares that crap out of any doctor that takes an X-ray of me. You got to see their face, because I always forget to tell them. I was so young when it happened, and they come in and they go, Mr. Gott, we have a slight concern with your kidney on the left side. I'm like, oh, do you? And what is that concern? Like, we'd like to do some further testing, but it doesn't look quite right. I'm like, no, because it's destroyed and shrunken up. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it happened when I was a kid. So, so that kidney is not a functional kidney. One kidney, I didn't have the kidney removed; it just got destroyed due to the reflux. So there is something there that has some shape to it, but it's not a working kidney.
I'm not working, but you're okay with the one kidney then. And
kidney. It's an excellent kidney. It's my favorite kidney.
Excellent kidney. It's gonna last you your whole long, wonderful life. So, anything else like that that's going on that you have had to overcome, or that you want to share with our people here?
No, the most important thing for people to know is, regardless of your age, regardless of whether you've committed to it or started to do it yet, is commit to something. Commit to starting to get your body healthy. Walk, move, run, do something. I don't care what it is. You don't have to lift weights, do air squats, but get up and run, get up and do something, move your body, get outside, be healthy. It doesn't matter if you've never done it before, if you're 50, if you're 60, if you're 70, get out and start to do it. The more you can do, the better. And do everything you can do.
And the body, like, your health is everything. It's everything. And that is why the name of my podcast is It's a New Dawn, because of my sister-in-law. Her name is Dawn, and she died at 48. She was closer to me than, I have 10 siblings, but she was closer to me than any of my siblings. She was married to my brother. I'm married to her. My husband is, Dawn is my husband's sister, who is married to my brother.
Gotcha.
Okay. So it's in my family, but I was extremely close to her, and she died within 3 months from liver cancer, but she was extremely heavy, 5 feet tall, like over 200 and something pounds, beautiful woman. Just, I knew she was unhealthy, but there was nothing that I could do. You know, you have to make that change. You have to make that decision. I just loved her, but I mean, the bottom line is I loved her. I named my business after her because she's my everything. And it came out perfect because it's a new dawn. There's always a new opportunity. There's always a new chance. There's always a way to start over. I thought it was perfect. So let's do it, you guys. I mean, move your body. Of course, there's other factors. Nutrition, I think, is extremely, my number one thing is nutrition, but you know, and then everything else falls into place. But moving your body is so important.
I'm not sharing my hot dog with you, even if you ask, so don't worry about it. The hot
I
dog.
don't, I don't eat hot dogs, but I don't condemn anybody else who eats hot dogs. It's just not my thing.
Judge me.
Not my thing. But okay, before we go, can people get in touch? I mean, it's like
isn't there? Tell me something about your favorite snack, Lenora.
My favorite snack. You want to know? On Marty, the Good Vibe Show. My favorite snack is popcorn, organic popcorn made on the stove, ghee, like in the kernels. I put ghee, and then I use nutritional yeast on it with cayenne pepper, all organic stuff, or cayenne pepper, Himalaya salt. Put it in there, and then I have a kombucha with it. That's my favorite.
That's an awesome snack.
That's my favorite snack. And when I say snack, if you look at my TikToks, you'll see me doing a voiceover for somebody, and I'm shoving popcorn in my mouth. If you look at that tin, that's how much popcorn I eat. I eat a humongous amount. I save my calories. I eat all my protein. I get all my shit in, and then that's my thing. It's my thing.
That's the question. I'm glad I asked. Now I know.
What's your favorite snack?
I love fruit. Watermelon or cherries. If it's wintertime, I'm very sad.
Cherries?
Very sad. Cherries. I love cherries.
Are you fart your brain out? Do you fart your brains out when you don't?
My body, my wife is amazed. I can eat a half a watermelon and have no issue.
Well, I can eat half watermelon too. I love watermelon, but
yeah, I won't
cherries.
Have a glass of milk. I can have a pound of cherries.
Not fart your brains out?
Nope.
Forget it. I couldn't sleep with my husband then. No way. No way. On that note, so I will put your TikTok link, your TikTok thing on the notes?
Sure.
Okay. And maybe your Instagram?
Sure.
Hang out for a second. Guys, my information, everything is going to be in the show notes. My email, my website, I'm also giving out my phone number for Google phone number. If anybody wants to text me any questions, anything that you would like me to talk about on the podcast, if you would like to be on the podcast, my number is 609-429-4058. Also, the one thing that I want to talk about is the Roar Bar, which I'm going to talk about every podcast. I am an affiliate. I am an ambassador of the company. This is the only packaged thing that I eat, only because I'm always on the run. A lot of people are on the run. So these bars are always in my purse. The biggest reason I love them, not only because of the nutritional content, everything in them is organic except for the almond butter, which they're trying to make organic, but they have 19 to 21 grams of protein a bar, 11 to 13 net carbs, no artificial sweeteners. It's good for almost any diet. Coconut oil, great for the brain, sweetened by coconut nectar, blackstrap molasses, and it has Himalaya salt in it. Owned by a young couple, Jake and Rachel. They give 10% of their net proceeds to feed the hungry children worldwide.
That's
So
great.
I adore this company. They write me back all the time. They're based in Minnesota. Please, please, please check them out. Go through my affiliate page, which is going to be in the link below. And any questions about them, you can ask me or just go to that page and it has all the information there. Please, you guys, they're so good. The only bar that I don't like out of it is the raspberry one. It's just not my preference, but who knows, you may like it. So on that note, Steve, thank you so much for blessing me with your presence. And my daughter says that my gravestone is going to say, have a wonderful and blessed day, everybody.
It's a
Thank you for coming. I love you, Steve. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.